Okay. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa Conference. So today's class will be given by Her Grace Nandanandan Nidhita Mathaji. Nandanandan Priya Nidhita Mathaji on the topic of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta Madhya Lila, chapter 24, verse number 178 onwards. Hare Krishna, Mathaji, are you present on the call?
Yes, Mathaji, yes, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mathaji. Dhanvat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and District Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much for giving your very valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. I now hand over the call to you, Hare Krishna, Mathaji. Please take the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mathaji. Thank you so much to all of you, so that today I am in your association and I'm going to Caitanya Caritamrta. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be with all of you and discuss these topics. So we will start. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshura Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devan Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we will be doing Madhya Lila, chapter 24, verse 78. Sarasi Sarasa Hamsa Vihangas Charugita Rita Cheta Saitya Harim Upasata Teyata Chitta Hanta Milita Drishudrita Mauna. The translation is: all the cranes and swans in the water are being enchanted by the melodious song of Krishna's flute. They have approached and are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full attention. Alas, they are closing their eyes and are becoming completely silent. Purport: this is quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:3-5-11. In the day Krishna went to the forest of Vrindavan, and at that time the gopis, being morose due to separation from him, were lamenting in this way. So this verse that we just now read is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will go to Srimad Bhagavatam and see what Prabhupada has told and what our acharyas have said about this particular verses over there. So let us invoke Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Shanvatam svakatha krishna punya shravana kirtana hridayantasthato abhadrani vidhanoti suhritsatam. Krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya cha nandagopa kumaraya govindaya namo namah. Nama pankajanabhaya nama pankajamaline namah pankajanetraya namaste pankajangraye. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this verse, when we go to this verse is from Canto 10, Chapter 35 of Srimad Bhagavatam. The chapter is titled Gopis Sing of Krishna. So in Bhagavatam, this is a combination of text which has then been supported by purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So the verses are like, the text that they took is from text 8 to 11, and out of that we in the Caitanya Charitamrta we did text 11. So in the I will just read maybe the translation. So we will see the entire set from 8 to 11. So I will read the translation from here first. Krishna moves about the forest in the company of his friends, who vividly chant the glories of his magnificent deeds. He thus appears just like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, exhibiting his inexhaustible opulences. When the cows wander onto the mountain sides and Krishna calls out to them with the sound of his flute, the trees and creepers in the forest respond by becoming so luxuriant with fruits and flowers that they seem to be manifesting Lord Vishnu within their hearts. As their branches bend low with the weight, the filaments on their trunks and the vines stand erect out of the ecstasy of love of God, and both the trees and the creepers pour down a rain of sweet sap. Maddened by the divine honey-like aroma, the garland Krishna wears, swarms of bees sing loudly for him, and that most beautiful of all persons thankfully acknowledges and acclaims their song by taking his flute to his lips and playing it. The charming flute song then steals away the minds of the cranes, swans, and other lake-dwelling birds. Indeed, they approach Krishna, close their eyes, and maintaining strict silence, worship him by fixing their consciousness upon him in deep meditation. So this entire verse is when the gopis, like Sri Krishna, he has entered into the forest, night time the gopis have their pastimes. The night pastimes are over and the morning is there. Krishna is going to have his pastimes with the cowherd boys in the pastures of Govardhana Hill, and he's gone there, and now the entire Brajamandala, all the Brajvasis, as we know, they accompany Krishna, and then Krishna ultimately asks them to go back, and though it is very hard for them, they come back, and they all are in deep lamentation. They are in deep separation. all these gopis who are discussing in this, in this Gopi Gita, when they are discussing about Krishna in separation from Krishna. So Krishna is playing in the pastures of Govardhana, and they are physically not present with Krishna. And when they are separated, they are discussing the pastimes of Krishna. They are discussing his flute melody. They are discussing these things. But the acharyas tell us that when they are in separation, our entire parampara, if we see, that is like worshipping Krishna in mode of separation, in Vipralamba Bhav, actually speaking. So in this extreme mode of separation, all the gopis like Radharani and all the gopis, when they are in extreme mode of separation, we see this in 2 chapters in Canto 10, which specifically, there are lots of verses on that. So one is the part of the Venu Gita, so chapter 21, and the other is over here, Gopi Gita, where we are in chapter 35. So in both of these, if we see from our mundane eyes, the gopis are not there, but they are able to describe each and every detail. What Krishna is doing, how he is responding, now he's playing the flute. They can hear the sound of the flute. They are describing how the swans are reacting, how the leaves and the flowers and the creepers are reacting, how the water is moving. So everything. So they are, when they are in when they are in so much deep separation, they are in such a deep meditation when they are talking about Krishna and remembering him, that it is, the acharyas describe that at this point, when the separation is so deep, their love connects them with Krishna so intimately that they can actually perceive everything, how it's happening. It's like they are viewing the entire scene. I mean, we know that in Mahabharata, Sanjaya, he had got a benediction by Vyasa, and therefore he was able to view the entire Mahabharata scene and narrate it to Dhritarashtra. Right? So that was a benediction that was given to him. We know that all the yogis and the siddhas, they do so many different kind of penances and austerities, and then they get so many different kind of siddhis, different kind of powers and all that. But a pure devotee, when he's truly in love of Krishna, they said that he does not crave for any of these. But when the love is so deep, love, which is the most important part, the love is so deep, and when it is in separation, it's so deep for these gopis that they are actually able to visualize everything that is going on. So even though they are physically, we can say they are apart, but they can see and perceive. They are seeing the entire scene, what is happening over there, and they are singing about it. So this, and that is what this parampara is about, because we are also in separation with Krishna. So how we have to, acharyas, we know different life stories also where they have done it, and we have to definitely one day maybe follow that. So in that deep separation also, like the feeling of love is so intense that they are seeing the entire thing. They are, they can see it, and many times we know that how acharyas even participate, over there. So even though in the mundane eyes we can think that they are away from Krishna, actually, even though Krishna is in Govardhana with the cowherd boys, they are actually, they are actually visualizing the entire pastime. And just because Krishna doesn't want them to be there at that time, because it's a special pastime going on, they are here. But, definitely if they could have wanted, they could have entered, just like our acharyas enter and come out. We know so many stories where they enter the pastimes and they come out. I mean, right? So here the gopis are fully aware, and they are, then they are describing as they are watching it. So in the purport, It starts, our acharyas, they're describing it as Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has made several illuminating comments on these verses. He gives householder Vaishnava hears a Sankirtan party approaching, they become ecstatic and offer obeisances. So the trees and creepers in Vrindavan become ecstatic when they heard Krishna's flute and bowed low with their branches and vines. And then, he's also making comments like Vishwanath about the tilaka, what kind of a red tilaka he is wearing out of the minerals of Govardhana hill, about which the gopis are describing. The Vishwanath Chakravarti also points out the aroma of the tulsi, because of which all the bumblebees, they get attracted, and then in reciprocation, Krishna plays the flute and the swans are coming. So he says that normally tulsi is, we know there is a very, very beautiful, there's a very nice aroma that comes out, but it's not that prominent until and unless there's a tulsi vana or a tulsi house near the temple or in your home and you enter, but especially early mornings. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that it's very prominent. That we can perceive, but when it was with Krishna at that time, like it's giving the so much aroma that all the bees which are around, they can come around it, and they are relishing it. They are like the devotees. It's so strong. Krishna, as we know, is all attractive, and it's these verses. It proves the point when we say that Krishna is all attractive. That Krishna is not only attractive for the living, it is even for non-living. All these verses that the gopis sing describing Krishna's pastimes, especially on the Govardhana hill, his Gocharan pastimes, his cowherd boy pastimes, which is cowherd friends. When the gopis describe, when we read, we can easily make out how attractive is Krishna. When like the other verses that we read, if we can really try to picturize, what gopis are trying to, what gopis are seeing and then telling us, if we can just try to make a picture of it, if we can see in front of us, we can have a theater screen and we can just try to see what the gopis are describing about Krishna. We will. They are saying that the cows are also, the cows are intently looking at Krishna. The small calves, though they have they want to suck milk from their mothers, so they are in that position, with the udders in their mouth, but they are not sucking because they are stunned. They are having those, the ecstasy symptoms. They are so much stunned by the entire surrounding over there. It is like so much filled with the pure love, so much filled with Krishna's divine flute music, that everyone is like just so much attracted and stunned. It's said that sometimes even like in these verses, in this Gopi Gita, it is described that the rivers, they also sometimes just stop flowing. I mean, they are just still. Everything just becomes so still because they are all so stunned. And so goes, like, even the description goes further when the power of Krishna's flute. I mean, who could have described it? The Krishna's flute, when Lord Brahma heard, he got the idea for the entire creation. Right? Krishna's flute does so many things. I mean, so Krishna's flute, when it is playing, all the gopis, they run to Krishna. All the swans, the bees, everything. The rivers are not flowing. The creepers, the vines are coming. So it's like, it's the magic. It's just the all attractiveness. Even the non-living entities, like it is said that, like, Radha, if we read like the Venu Gita book of Shivaram Swami, so over there he has described so beautifully and vividly this entire thing. But just to pick up a few points, he says, yeah. So in the Venu Gita book, he describes that all this the flute sound is so effective that anyways, like on hearing that, when Radharani hears, she's seeing the scene. She calls Giriraj Govardhan as Haridas Varya. She calls, and then there is a discussion that follows amongst the gopis. One of the gopis, she says that maybe, but we should not compare the Vaishnavas. That could be a little offensive. And then other gopis, she says no, but if Radharani is saying, then it has to be truth. And then they go to Tunga Vidya. Tunga Vidya is also there, and they take her opinion, and Tunga Vidya quotes from Shastras. That's how in the Venu Gita book, Shivram Swami describes the entire incident with great details. And then Tunga Vidya gives various examples stating that Govardhana Hill, that also exhibits all the eight symptoms of ecstasy, the Ashtavikaras, the 8 symptoms. And the stone, the grasses, like for example, the hairs are standing erect, and they are compared to the grass, and the grass is very soft and all those things. And even these, like the swans, the birds that we are talking of, these are taking in the nectarian water of Govardhana. It's like the tears that are flowing, the tears of love that are coming, and that's how there are so many waterfalls over there, and they are filled with different kinds of different flavored water used to be there. So different these are there, and then there are such beautiful lotuses growing out of that water of love. And it is our acharyas say that this water was even like more pure than even the water of Mother Ganga. It's because it's the tear of love that the devotee is shedding, Haridas Varya is shedding, and it's everywhere there. And these swans, they are taking in the lotus stems. They are eating from the lotus stem nectar of these ponds, and they are, anyways, we understand that there are many trees, and all these swans and the creatures which were there during at that time, they were none of them were like normal. They were all great devotees who were there, and they were relishing a pastime with Krishna over there. But we see that there is there is so much attraction that they have for Krishna. So even like the stones, they used to sometimes get stamped, or sometimes they used to even melt out of like so much feelings because the Giriraj Govardhan is Haridas Varya, because he is not only facilitating all these pastimes, but he is also witnessing. And when he is witnessing, he is going through so many different kinds of vikara, so many different kinds of symptoms of ecstasy. And one of them were that even the stones, they used to melt, and sometimes they used to leave the footprint of the Lord over there. I mean, there was so much love, not even in the animate, but even in the inanimate things, in the entire atmosphere. There is one more point which in the same book, Venu Gita of Shivram Swami, there is a chapter. I mean, anyways, that entire book describes, most of the chapters are about Vrindavan, the forest, Govardhana Hill, because all this is being described as the gopis witness it. So there's a chapter on the birds of Vraja, and therein he's writing that I'll just maybe read a para from there. So when the swans hear the tinkling of Sri Krishna's ankle bells, they become ashamed of their own sweet voices, and lowering their necks, they glide to Govinda and admit defeat. Once, when looking for a sign of a daughter-in-law, Jatala followed the movements of the swans, knowing they were attracted to the sound of Radhika's ankle bells. Krishnadas Kaviraj compares the devotees to the swans that play in a forest of lotus flowers and buds of those lotus flowers to the pastimes of Sri Krishna. Because Govinda is always engaged in his wonderful pastimes, swan-like devotees following the footsteps of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu constantly feed on those lotus bud pastimes and remain nourished and satisfied. So herein is the specific, the swans and the cranes, when they are getting attracted so much. So it is also compared that the devotees who are taking on the nectar of the birds of the from the lotus flowers, which are compared as the pastimes of Sri Krishna and Radharani. So these devotees are always engaged in, so much attracted and always engaged and immersed in the wonderful pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna, following the footsteps of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who used to constantly feed on to those lotus bud-like pastimes. So, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, like Krishna, when he came in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's form, he kind of showed us that how a devotee has to be, and he left us anyways the Shikshashtakam, but his life was like exemplary. I mean, he was just showing how a devotee should be. And in Chaitanya Mangala by Lochan Das Thakur, when there is a when the description comes, when say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he goes on to for visiting the Vraja. So over there, Mahaprabhu is is being guided by Krishnadas, and is showing various places. That this is the forest here. This pastime used to happen. All the cranes used to, and the swans used to just follow, and the bumblebees used to swim, and then Krishna used to play his flute, and then everyone used to be immersed like this, and he's listening, and he's just by listening, many, like as the discussion follows in that chapter, we see many instances he's showing so many different symptoms of ecstasy, and he's just imagining, and many times his contemplation is so deep, just like the gopis' contemplation, wherein they can see everything. So here in Chaitanya Mangala, it is said, while he is describing. So, for instance, I will take an instance that he describes, he sees a Ashoka tree there, and he describes that, the Kartik full moon, this Ashoka tree used to be filled with flowers. But this is out of season. But hearing this, when Lord Chaitanya looked at that Ashoka forest, instantly all the trees filled up with fruits and flowers, and it was not the proper season. Krishnadas just smiles, and he becomes bewildered upon witnessing this amazing scene and smelling the wonderful scents. And then again, he stops, and then again and again, Mahaprabhu, he requests that please go on, let's move on. I want to hear more. And following that, Krishnadas, he again starts saying, and then it is described that Gauraraya's heart becomes drowned in this ecstatic love of God by hearing these topics from Krishnadas. And he's like, as he dove in the ocean of this Vraja Bhav, this is the Vraja's Bhav, when they are in with Krishna, they are so absorbed, they are just stunned. And when they are not with Krishna, they are so much in separation. They're so much in separation that they're still stunned. I mean, that's the Vraj Bhav. That's so deep. So when Mahaprabhu is there, and he's watching and hearing, the waves of his prema flooded the land and the sky. It was so strong, it is said, that it was sometimes roaring loudly, and so loud that the entire atmosphere was filled with that. The roar, the birds and the beast, all around, whatever, the things that were there. That roar was not like a lion's roar that they will fly off. That roar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was filled with so much love that the entire atmosphere over there was surcharged with love. Anyways, we know that, in Vrindavana, We go usually, we still see the mundane things. We cannot see the real Vrindavana. We cannot see the forest, but they are all there. And if we have that much love through those, anointment of love, Premanjana Chakshu, we can actually then we can see, because it's still there. The pastimes are still going on. It's just that we cannot see because we are not at that level. So anyway, so when Mahaprabhu, it does that, it seems that not only not for himself, but even for Krishnadas, he was able to, he was able to see the birds and the beasts. They just went mad, looked to him with the love of Krishna. And though out of season, all the flowers bloomed in the trees, the cuckoos started crowing melodiously, the bees started buzzing, and Gaurahari is crying out, Vamsi, wonderful, wonderful. And sometimes Lord Chaitanya talked to the gopis as if he's speaking in a dream, or sometimes he's in a mood of a boy and he's laughing, lolling, Seeing all this, Krishnadas becomes overwhelmed and he falls down at Gauranga's feet crying. So this I'm reading from Chaitanya Mangala. This narration is happening when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is visiting these places that the gopis are now witnessing in their separation, and they are describing in form of songs, which we are reading from Bhagavatam. And then Krishnadas says that I have never seen such a person in 3 worlds. I'm so fortunate to meet him, but I'm about to lose him. So you see the statement, I'm so fortunate to meet him, but I'm about to lose him. So he is in contact, he's witnessing Mahaprabhu, and he's thinking, oh, I am about to lose him. It's like, though he's in meeting, but he's thinking about the separation. It is something like, sometimes it happens with Radharani when she is in Mahabhav. There are some that Krishna is with her, but she is still feeling that maybe Krishna is not with her, and she's fainting. And this, when Krishna saws, he gets puzzled. He's like, how is this? What is the pleasure? This kind of pleasure I have never experienced. And to experience that kind of special feelings of Radharani, which Krishna can never comprehend otherwise in his Krishna form, that's one of the internal reasons that he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is what he is witnessing here. When he hears these pastimes, he is witnessing that. And on seeing him, Krishnadas, who is standing, I mean, see, that is why we say that, right, a little bit in touch with a devotee. And now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord himself, is in a devotee form. So anyways, we know that Krishnadas is also a great devotee. So he is in touch, and he's experiencing that he's there with him, but he's feeling like, anyways, he will go off. But what a person! But I won't be able to have his association all the time. As Krishnadasa uttered this, Gauranga Mahaprabhu comes back to his senses. So as he's listening, he's losing he's just in the transcendental word, and then he again comes back and he's requesting, as I said, to Krishnadas that please go on. So he comes back to his senses and says, Krishnadas, tell me what happened. So this is Krishna showing us in form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how we have to be. Is it that he doesn't know? He knows everything, but he's still visiting. He still wants to listen it again and again. Just like the gopis. The gopis is it that this is the first time in this chapter, in chapter 35, canto 10, that they are describing this? No. We know that in chapter 21, during Venu Gita, they were also describing Govardhana Hail. They were describing, the ecstatic symptoms. They were relishing so many topics. So when Krishna is there, they are serving Krishna. When Krishna is not there, they are experiencing Krishna still. And they are talking about Krishna, and with each statement, each word, each thing, it reminds them of Krishna, and they are so in separation that they can actually visualize it out. It is, in Nectar of Devotion, you all might be knowing, but just for my purification, I would state that there is There's a story of a Brahmana. He used to, after taking bath and doing his Brahmanical duties, daily Brahmanical morning duties, he used to sit and he used to meditate. And in meditation, he used to do some Manasi Seva. And so he used to prepare some kheer, sweet rice, and he used to offer it. So that was part of his whatever mental offerings he used to do. So that kheer was used to be the part of it. So, and this he continued for many years. And then one time when he prepared the kheer and he was offering, he just felt that it's very hot. Should I just check it because it should not hurt when the Lord is eating it. It should not burn him. It should not hurt him. So he puts his finger, and as soon as he puts the finger, it was so hot that he was like, it burns. The finger burns, and his meditation, he opens and he sees that his finger is actually burned. So that is our mind. We always say that we have to focus our mind when we are chanting, we are serving, we are doing anything. Krishna has to be center. Our focus has to be Krishna, and the focus has to be so strong. We have to be following the footsteps of the gopis. We have to be following the footsteps of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who are showing that how we have to put our mind, even though we cannot see Krishna in separation. In separation, actually, the love becomes many folds. So, when there is a mundane lover and a boy and a girl, when they are in separation, their love will be more than when they are, when they are over there. So, what to speak of this transcendental love? It's many folds. It's many folds. It's just that sometimes our mind is so much engrossed in material things that it's not able to concentrate. But whenever we are chanting, we are serving, or even if we are doing, as we know in Krishna consciousness, as all our acharyas always tell us that we have to keep Krishna in the center of any activity that we are doing, whether it's cooking, cleaning, whatever we are doing. If Krishna is the center, we are thinking that it's for Krishna, and we can concentrate on Krishna. And the mind has so much power, as we see that eventually we are in touch with we are in touch with the object of our meditation, and that is called samadhi. Samadhi means in Hindi, if I can say, it's like samadhana. It's like you are entering into it, right? You are entering into that transcendental realm. And that is what we call as Jivodmukta, because at that time a devotee is in a different platform. He's a transcendental platform. Though we see him doing all the activities, but actually he's in a transcendental platform. And that is what the gopis are doing over there. In these songs, we can easily see the separation. We can see the all attractiveness of Krishna. But how much maybe the heart is filled with anarthas, that after hearing all this, it's not getting melted. The stones are getting melted, but the heart is not getting melted. So which is more hard? The stone is more hard, or the heart is more hard? So with this point, maybe I would like to stop over here with this contemplation point, at least for myself. So if there is any correction, any additions, any comments on this topic, please enlighten me. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mathaji. Thank you very much for this very beautiful class and such a lovely verse. Thank you very much, Mathaji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mathaji.
Hi Krishna Mathaji, what a beautiful class. Thank you for this nectar. You prepared so beautifully and took us to another realm altogether. We are so grateful to you. Thank you, Mathaji.
Oh no, thank you, Mathaji. I really liked preparing for this class, frankly speaking. It was so relishing reading all this pastimes. So I am the person who is really thankful.
Please enlighten us more in the future, Mathaji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mathaji. Very beautiful class. You transported me to Vrindavan, and you can hear all this.
Hari,
Very nice.
that's all Vaishnavas and Guru and Gauranga's mercy, Mataji.
Yes. And it's also your endeavor to receive the mercy. Thank you, Mathaji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Does anyone else have any question or comment to Mathaji?
Very good, Mathaji. I just have a question. I'm not sure because I joined about 5 or 10 minutes late. Maybe you discussed it, but is there a specific reason, like our acharyas describe why Krishna is actually, praising Lord Balram in these pastimes like that? I mean, is there more to it?
So, Mataji, actually on every topic there is a lot more, but it's my limited capacity that I just prepared. Like for this class, it was mostly on the forest part, but yeah, definitely in the books you will find why and all those reasons. I mean, if you go through Venu Gita books and different books, you will definitely find, because on this topic only if I can find this much, so definitely Balrama and all these descriptions you will find more details. But while preparing for the class, I have not gone through those parts. So I just read the specific portions which connected with this. So I'm sorry for my incapacity on telling something on this, Mataji.
Oh no, thanks so much. It was, it was a lot of information as it is. So thank you so much. I appreciate your effort.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Koti Dandavat. Srila Prabhupada Gurudev ki jai. How nicely you explained the Leelas. Vrindavan Dham ki jai, like bumblebees and monkeys. And Mataji, it's very nice how nicely you explained about the Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mood and Srimati Radharani's. And Mataji, we feel that Leela. Please give your association regularly. How nicely you narrating, and your voice is also very nice, like our Priti Vilasini Gopi. Can you sing something for us?
I will, Mataji. I will maybe someday sing something. I'm not that much of a good singer. Maybe I will prepare before I sing before all of you Vaishnavas. But thank you so much, Mataji. I will be very glad to serve in any way. But definitely all the mercy and all what I have described is in much more detail in the books, and I was not even able to get maybe 0.01% that I was able to tell, but it was my pleasure to discuss all this with all of you, and if you all liked it, I mean, that is also my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mathaji. Thank you so much for preparing this class for us. I have one question. You were describing how the gopis were experiencing being with Krishna even though he wasn't physically present, and you brought in the brahmana and sweet rice to give that comparison, right?
Yes, Mataji. I mean, we cannot compare the gopis' bhav with the brahmanas' bhav. I mean, I cannot compare. Those both cannot be compared. It would be wrong to say that I told it for comparing, because I took that example because that is given by our acharyas in Nectar of Devotion on the Mansi Seva. How much intimate it could be. But the gopi, we have all to follow. I mean, they were the intimatest. I mean, we cannot compare it. I mean, that I did not give it for comparing.
No, I know you did. I only brought that up to ask you to remind me what pastimes the gopis were engaged in when you brought up the Brahmana sweet rice story.
Yeah, so it was even though they were in separation, Mathaji, they were actually not in separation. Right? So the deep separation, that's how the Mansi Seva is, right? So many times as we see, there are so many stories, I mean, so many, and like even in our Goswami's life, we know, how that something fell down, and one of the Goswamis, he was searching, and then other Goswami enters, he gets it, and other acharyas also, we know there are so many of the Mansi Seva that used to happen. They used to enter into that realm, and they can come out also. Right. It is, of course, initially these are involuntary, but later they can be done. I mean, they're very, very high topics, but just because you asked, I will just maybe say a few things if although I'm not eligible for all this. But, this happens. So gopis, when they're seeing, I just wanted to make a point that if they would have wanted, their level was this, that they could have entered, but they never did. It's just like, how far do you think was Vraja from Dwarka? It was not very far. They could have any time gone and seen, and they could have been, but they never did that. They went through all this pain of separation because they thought that Krishna is the king. He could have any time come, but if he is not coming, that means his pleasure is in keeping that we are here. That is his pleasure. That's what he wants, and therefore they went through all this.
That's a nice
that is
point.
love. That is love.
Yes.
They are seeing it, and they have the capacity to go into it, but they are not going into it. They are there.
Oh, that's a really beautiful point. Yeah, that's a really beautiful point.
Yeah. So therefore, they cannot be compared with anybody.
No, I wasn't actually trying to compare them. I was just using that as a reference point.
I got your point. Yes.
Yeah, because actually the reason why I was asking you to repeat that part was because I was just going to confirm my understanding that, when they go into this, I guess you would call it uppercut Lila with Krishna, it's not like, because I think you had used the word like a fantasizing or something like that, but I don't think it's, my understanding is not that, it's like some like imagination. It's just like an unmanifest Lila.
Yes. It's not their imagination. It's their. It's just like Sanjay, he was not imagining the Mahabharata war when he was telling it to Dhritarashtra. He was actually seeing it, hearing it, and telling it. Same way the gopis are seeing it, hearing it, and telling it. But Sanjaya did it on basis of his benediction, and he never had the benediction to enter into it. The gopis, they did not get any benediction, but because of their love, a devotee gets all kinds of powers, Power of devotee is limitless, but he never uses it.
Yeah, and also
they had the power to enter and come out, but they never did it. But they, by their mercy, described it, and by mercy of our acharyas, we still have it. Vyasadeva, he wrote it, and the acharyas, he gave us nice commentary so that we can understand it at our very limited level.
Yeah, and I think too, by their not entering physically, let's say, into the Lila, it keeps Vipralamba at the highest,
Yes.
At the highest.
And at the same time, the cowherd pastimes are going on, because that's a different pastime, which is has to go on, right? And then definitely, as we know that there are gopi pastimes also, they go in and they have their pastimes, at night and evenings and afternoons. There are pastimes. But this is a separate pastime that they are just describing because they are not going in there.
Yeah, so anyway.
It's not they're fantasizing, they are seeing it and they're describing.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that we were on the same page as far as that point is concerned. But I'm glad that through our interchange, you brought out that really wonderful point that, they could have, like you said, the distance was not, it wasn't a question of distance, so they could have, but they didn't out of love. And so I really appreciated that point very much. Thank you so much, Mathaji.
Thank you, Mathaji. All the mercy of Guru and Gauranga.
Hare Krishna.
If there is no one has any question or comment or anything, can we end the call now here or still going on? Mathaji? Nandanandan.
We can I think end if no one has any questions or anything. We can end, Mathaji.
Thank you very much, Mathaji. Very wonderful.
Thank you very much, Mathaji.
Mathaji.
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mathaji, for your very enlightening class today. I'm such a nectar today, and we are very grateful to you. We look forward to your association again in the future. So we can end the call here. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindhubhyev ca patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Shri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Har Krish Nandanandan Priya Lila Mathaji ki jai. Hare Krishna, Mathaji.
Hare Krishna, Mathaji. Thank you. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mathaji.